Hello, and welcome back to Your Story is Your Portal. And today I'm going to be talking about the importance of giving yourself some quiet time and changing your environment so that you can really focus on your story. I've actually been inspired to talk this time about this by a lady that just contacted me just recently. And she's actually moving to Puerto Vallarta. So she's moving country with her family. And she called me to say that she was with her children and her dogs and her cat, and they were in a hotel on the way down to Puerto Vallarta to start their new life. And she saw one of my podcast interviews talking about your story is your portal. And she said to me, I think I really need this retreat. I've been going so fast, organizing children and my family and moving to a new country and everything that's involved with that I have not taken any time for myself. And we all know that happens, especially for busy women, that we are running constantly. We are so busy multitasking that we don't give ourselves the time to reflect, the time to be quiet, and the time to give your soul the opportunity to speak. So this is why we are doing the Soul Compass retreat in Sayulita, Mexico, in this gorgeous environment. We are right next to the ocean. We are in the jungle. And it's an opportunity for you to really check in to your soul. We live such busy lives. And, this whole podcast is all about your story is your portal. It's your portal to understand your soul purpose. So everything that's happened in your life, they are not random events. Every single thing that's happened has happened to help you understand what your soul purpose is. So when I think of your story being a portal, I really think that, I almost think, how is there any other way to live? Because everything that happens in our life happens for a reason. So many people think that life is just happening for them, or they're happening at them. But not many people, really think of life as happening as they are making life happen. They are creating their life. Every single event that happens in our life is happening for us. Even if some of those events are traumatic. For example, when Azuka died 4 years ago, I had never experienced grief, but what that gave me was a portal. It gave me a portal to the other side. It gave me a portal to understand spirituality and to understand that we are truly spiritual beings, that we are in this human body. But this human body is just a body. It's just a mask. It's just a skin. It's just a package, a container that our soul is in. And if you don't give your soul the opportunity to be quiet, stop all of the chaos, stop all of the noise, all of the multitasking, everything that we do as women. And, if you don't give your soul the opportunity to talk, if you don't have the quiet, the environment that allows your soul to speak, you could be looking for clarity for years and years and years and just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. and still being in the same place. So many people say, I really want to change my life. Oh, yes, I've always wanted to move to Mexico. Once the children are grown up, I'm going to, once the children have graduated, I'm going to, and it's really putting off your soul telling you, speaking to you. So I think it's really, really important. If you want your soul to speak to you, if you want your story to be the portal to your soul purpose, you can't do that until you slow down. You can't do that until you stop. You can't do that until you change your environment. When we're in an environment that's full of noise or negativity or chaos, your soul can't be heard. So you need to come to this kind of environment where it's quiet, it's beautiful, you have the beach for reflection, and you can really reflect on, our planet Earth, where we live, where our spiritual beings have chosen to live out this life purpose. I can hear the ocean in the background. I can hear the ocean when I go to sleep at night. I can see the stars at nighttime, the universe, because there's nothing obstructing it. There is no light pollution. I can enjoy the warmth of the ocean. Right now, I'm watching a whole bunch of parakeets singing their happy song. I see, I was in the pool earlier with Katrina, who is one of the writers in residence here right now, and there was a lizard that was kind of climbing in the tree, and, you can hear the parachutes. Can we hear them? They're amazing. Just observing nature, a hummingbird that is just sitting still. It's almost like, it's so funny because I think of Canada and I think I've never seen a hummingbird stop. They always seem to be like crazy and chaotic and flying really fast. And here in Mexico, you see the hummingbirds just sitting there on a branch. And I think, oh, is it just Mexico? Does everything slow down here? People talk about Mexican time. And it's a real thing. It really is Mexican time. I feel like it's the middle of the day right now, but it's approaching 6 p.m. And it's really amazing that time takes on a whole different format when you're in Mexico, Mexican time, right? So when we do a 3-day retreat, it feels like a week-long retreat because time slows down. We take time to walk the beach for sunset, to have a fire ceremony with drums in the evening, to really connect with the earth, with the sand and the magnetic draw of the sand, the sound of the waves, the sounds of the jungle. Your whole environment is a different environment. The air is fresh, salty, and right now it's the heat is it feels like it's enveloping you. So when you get out of your normal environment and you come into an environment where you can listen to your soul and you're quiet and you're away from the chaos, now you can start to think about and reflect on your journey. So your life journey. And how is your life journey pointed ultimately to your soul purpose? Because that's what we're talking about here, your soul compass. So Jennifer and I, we called our retreat the Soul Compass Retreat because we're walking you through the directions of the compass which is also the elements, the 4 elements. And the purpose of that is so that you can find your true north, your true north. What is your purpose here? What is your soul purpose? You do know, but you need the quiet to be able to hear it, to be able to remember it. You're not going to do that in your crazy, chaotic life. It's not possible. Jennifer's book is called Magic in the Muck. It's talking about finding the magic in all of that chaos. And what I'm talking about with the soul story is finding your magic, even in events that happened in your life that might not feel like magic, but they all had a purpose. They all had a purpose. And, I was talking in my last episode about surrender and the importance of you being willing to surrender to the universe. I have to keep reminding myself about this all the time because it's so easy to get caught up in goals and achievements and success. Like busy. Even in an environment like this, you can still get into that situation where you're busy. So it's important to remember that the universe has our back, right? The universe has infinite possibilities. And we get all these little clues that as we go through life, we get these little clues. I think about everything that I've done in my life, and I think to myself, wow, I feel like a walking encyclopedia because I have published over 300 authors, and each of those authors came into my life for a reason, each one. And I think back, and one lady in particular that had such a big impact on me. I don't even know if she knows what a big impact she had with her book, but it was on the subject of emotional abuse. And, it's very easy for us to go through life, go through relationships, and not understand that we are not being our true self. We are being influenced by our husband, by our partner. We are going through life, making sacrifices. And, funny enough, this is what Katrina is talking about right now with her book that's here on retreat. She's talking about the subject of sacrifices. And, when we think about unconditional love, is unconditional love really unconditional, or does it come with conditions? Think about, the traditional wedding vows of till death do us part. And, does that mean that the woman has to sacrifice herself completely for her man unconditionally? Is that unconditional love, or is that self-sacrifice? So, when I consider all of those things, I realize, so many people came into my life to teach me lessons, to allow me to be more empowered as a woman, to actually step into my own truth and to step into my own soul purpose. And that would not have been possible if I had not had all of these beautiful, wonderful, amazing authors come into my life with their stories at exactly the time that I needed it. So I think about, holistic health and wellness, and all of the authors that wrote stories about all the different ways that you can look at your body and the health of your body. And, just today, I was talking to my 89-year-old mom, and I said to her, she said, "Oh, Julie, my knees are not so good now. I can't really get around." And I said, I know, Mum, because 2 months ago, I had nerve damage and I couldn't actually walk at all for 2 months. But I changed that. I had Feldenkrais, I had acupuncture, I tried rolfing, I've tried different massage therapies, red light therapy, molecular hydrogen, life wave patches. I now have pretty much full mobility, and I keep finding new things to help me. And again, those things allow me to now empower other people with this knowledge. So this is all knowledge that I have gained in my life journey, which I'm now using to educate other people. So everybody has that in their life. Absolutely everybody have these life lessons that come into their life. And they come into our life for that reason, right? They come into our life to empower us with knowledge and with wisdom so that we can understand how we can pass that information on to other people. This is all about being empowered. It's all about being empowered with wisdom that you can then pass on to other people, and your life purpose becomes passing on that wisdom to other people. What have you done in your life? What wisdom have you got that you can then pass on, and that perhaps is contributing to your soul purpose? So these are one of the things that I do when we're on retreat or when I'm helping people with their books. It's a little bit like tracing breadcrumbs. Think about your life and all the events in your life. And now let's start to trace all of those events and look for the patterns and say, oh, I didn't realize, but I'm very knowledgeable about this subject now. I'm very knowledgeable about, how not to do that again. So this all points to your soul purpose. And so I really want people to think of, their story in a different way. And it's so interesting because I was with a group of people this morning and I almost felt frustrated that I wasn't getting the message across that, a book isn't just a product. It is the clues to our life purpose. And all the people that I have helped write books, at the end of that journey, their life is completely changed. And they understand their life. They understand why these events happen to them. And they now have clarity and information to go and help other people with that same information. So, what's your story? And how is your story the portal to your life purpose? What events have happened to you in your life that you overcome, that now you're able to help other people that are going through similar events, and you can help them look at the world in a different way? You can change their mindset about something. You can train them how to look at their health. That's really what happened to me with all the holistic practitioners that helped me. They really helped me to look at my health, my body, and everything in a different way. So, even though I have collapsed vertebrae, I have torn meniscula in my knees, I have nerve damage in my legs, I live a very normal life. And, you can choose two paths. You can choose to look at those events that happen to you in your life and use them as a portal to help other people. Or you can look at those events and say, for me, Why me? Why is this happening to me? It's not fair. Why does this keep happening to me? There's a reason. That saying about, if you don't do something about your situation, your life situation, the universe is going to hit you with a bus, right? I was just talking to somebody recently, got hit by a car, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And she said to me, do you think the universe is trying to tell me something? So, these are not random. These are not random events. Nothing in your life is random. Nothing in your life is random. Everything that's happened to you has happened for a reason. And those reasons, all put together, are pointing to your soul purpose. So, what's your story? Come and join Jennifer and I at our Soul Compass retreat in Mexico. Take yourself away from your crazy, chaotic environment where you are running so fast, you do not have the time to be quiet and to listen to your soul. Give yourself the gift. And, I'm sure your family is going to be giving you lots of reasons why you can't give yourself this time. I'm sure even you yourself are probably saying, oh, I can't justify this, or I can't really afford it. Or, maybe I should do this next year, or maybe I should wait until the winter. These are all reasons coming from here, coming from your mind. You need to listen to the whispers of your soul. What is your soul telling you? Your soul's probably screaming by now, saying, why won't you listen to me? Why won't we change our situation? Why don't you step into our true soul purpose? And it's because you have all these reasons why you can't do it. So, you should stop procrastinating right now and do it. Give yourself the gift of getting away from your chaotic life and go on retreat or write that book. At least start writing journal notes so that you can start to give your soul some time to be heard. So even if you get one thing out of this podcast episode, I am hoping that you will at least give yourself some time to listen to your soul. And even if that means, taking yourself for a walk in the forest or the jungle or on the beach, or take the dog for a walk and listen to your soul. And, if that means that you write journals, or it means that you talk your journals and your feelings into your phone as you're walking the dog, these are all little moments that contribute to listening to your soul. So your story is your portal to your life purpose. So start thinking about your story. Start listening to the clues from your soul. And I hope that you will see the portal to your soul purpose. Okay. I'm going to keep driving this home on every single episode until you got it. Thank you so much for joining me again on this episode. And remember, your story is your portal. Bye for now. Thank you for walking through today's portal. I invite you to subscribe, share, and join me inside the House of Story Medicine for deeper journeys, book mentorship, and soul story retreats in Mexico. Because your voice matters.
I'm Michelle Abraham, founder of the High Vibe Podcast Network, and we're honored to have Julianne's show, Your Story is Your Portal, as part of our network family. For more inspiring shows like this one, visit highvibepodcastnetwork.com. And don't forget to grab your free gifts from our hosts in the gift vault. Stay high vibe and keep sharing your life.